Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hopefully, everybody is having an absolutely awesome Thursday in February and that it's nice and sunny where you are. And welcome to Tips, Tricks, and Traps of a Single Square Entry. So, a couple of things here just before we dig in, that this webinar will qualify for CEC credits. There are some polls that you must answer, at least at least two of the polls to be able to qualify for the CEC credits and any credits. And the recording of this webinar will be emailed out within the next 2 days. And that will go to the email address that you registered with for the webinar with. So perfect. So I am Tanya Hilts, CPP and AIA. I'm the founder of Cloud Business Services and Tanya's Bookkeepers Bootcamp. AIA might be new, so just thought I'd explain what that accreditation is. So I'm an accredited impactful advisor designation through, which is 2021, and that was actually through Jeannie Whitehouse, also level 5 certified advisor through Mentor Plus under the tutelage of Jeannie Whitehouse. Named as Insightful Accountant Top 100 Pro Advisor 18, 19, 20, and 21, and the top Canadian Pro Advisor for 2020, the Intuit Global Firm of the Future for 2018, and reigning, just share that out there because in the final one, I am a volunteer mentor for Futurepreneur Canada and Women in Accounting, and member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network and a director of CPB Canada. We are joined as well by Sherri-Lee Mathers. Sorry, I know, I should know better. Sherri-Lee Mathers. I was just talking to Matthews, so for some reason Matthews was in my brain. But anyway, Sherri-Lee Mathers, who is CPB and fellow AIA as well, founder of Balsam Way. She's a craft brewery and winery specialist. She was awarded CPB Canada 2021 Professional Leader of the Year, named as Insightful Accountant Top 100 Pro Advisor for 2018, 19, 20, and 21. A level 5 certified advisor as well through Mentor Plus with her AIA designation, and a member of the Intuit Trainer Writer Network. We do a lot of stuff together, it seems, don't we? And of course, she works with select apps and development. And anybody who knows her knows she is very difficult to impress. If I said that right this time.
Don't say hard
difficult to impress. And Bookkeep is an app that has impressed her and as well has impressed me, which is why we're both here. And this is how she's uniquely qualified to deliver this, because she's worked and provided feedback to the Square development team as well as Bookkeep. Okay, and we are joined by Jason Richelson, who is the co-founder of Bookkeep. Jason is a serial entrepreneur recognized by the Entrepreneur of the Year EI magazine, I do believe.
Nominated.
Okay, nominated by them. Okay.
I didn't win. I was beaten by the CEO of Airbnb.
Wow.
WeWork. I'm sorry, WeWork.
Of WeWork. Okay. Okay. So we'll have to
be a fraud, but anyway.
Oh no. Well, then you know what? You're the I guess what they do that. You're, I guess, the, what do they call it for like beauty
runner up
or whatever,
the
runner up, which then moves you into there.
Anyway.
We'll just say that anyway.
Yeah.
But so you were nominated, serial entrepreneur, nominated by Entrepreneur of the Year, so that's great. 2 years at PricewaterhouseCoopers building a stock portfolio management software. You quit that to start Internet Cash online payment platform in 1998. In 2001, you worked on Wall Street trading desk for 3 years, trading stocks, options, and building software to automate the trade desk. You left Wall Street to start the Green Grape Wine Store in Brooklyn, then a grocery store, followed by a second wine store. I'm just exhausted just going through these. Like, you know, how you can keep your energy and keep doing this, like, kudos to you. Anyway, then Jason became frustrated with small business software, then created Shopkeep, which was the first iPad and cloud-based point-of-sale system, recently sold to Lightspeed. So kudos to you. That's a great accomplishment on top of your many other accomplishments. And then frustrating with accounting manual entry. So you started Bookkeep to accurately automate the data entry to accounting software. And of course, everybody can see with all of that experience, you felt the pain, which I think really, you know, speaks volumes in Bookkeep because you felt the pain yourself. So you created something to solve your own pain. So that's great. So welcome.
Thank you.
You know what, I'm going to add to that. Business owners who are solving their own pain, it's like auto review solve their own pain in reviewing books. You know, everybody who does that, I think, is more vested and they understand, and the app is better.
I absolutely agree, because you understand the pain.
Yeah.
And that speaks more for somebody who just thinks it's pain and doesn't understand it. And that's why with Bootcamp, when I came out with that, I worked with people for a year to make sure that I understood, because my pains aren't necessarily somebody else's pain. So, you know,
Right.
and again, that just shows in the product here. So thank you from our industry for that, Jason.
We can't launch this. You have to launch this, right?
Yes, I have to launch that. So we're launching the first poll right now. So how many of you have Square clients? I'm assuming most of you probably either have Square clients or
That's
you're
not the
thinking
poll.
about it.
That's not the poll.
Oh, sorry, wrong poll. Sorry, lady or guys, ladies and gents. Oh my gosh. I had to edit that poll last. So nope, wrong poll again. Okay. Apparently I missed this poll question. So apparently we've got 4 polls. So you only have to answer 3 of them. So
Oh,
let's start all over again. Let's just get this real quick in here. So get ready for this question. How many of you have Square clients? And this is, I guess, the problem of doing some things live. Sometimes the tech does not, or the people entering into the tech can have these issues. How many of you have Square clients? And this is spelled wrong. So I don't know, Sherry, just give me 2 seconds if you've got something you want to add in while I'm typing this in.
You know, I want to go back to talking about solving problems, you know, like Jason solving his own problem. I have been working with Bookkeep since 2019 because it was, you know, I got recommended. Oh, I don't know how to turn that off. Sorry. And if this sounds crazy, it's because I'm controlling the webinar here, this part of it. So if the screens go wonky, I'm taking full responsibility and I'm pleading, oops, already.
Okay. So just as a quick reminder, we've got 81%. You do need to answer at least 2 of the 4. We might throw in a 5th in here just for some stuff, but as long as you're answering at least 2 of them for the CEC credits. And again, we've got the proper one up there. So we've got 82% answered. So I'll count down, give 5 more seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll. We had somebody get in there last minute. Awesome. Okay, so share results, just in case you're curious. So 73% do currently have Square clients and 27% don't, but you'll be glad you're here and you'll see why as we go through.
And I think we're going to hit, just so we know who's here. Did you get this one in?
That was the one I had as the first one. So we'll pop that one in now.
So just quickly, are you from the US, Canadian? Because we do speak to both. But if it comes to, so both Tanya and I are Canadian. So if there's more US stuff, we're going to get Jason to answer more US questions.
Oh, and look at, oh, you guys can't see this. I'm seeing as they move. We're about 60% Canadian so far.
All right.
Yeah, so we got 72% have answered. So we'll give another couple of questions or a couple of seconds here. So we'll do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End the poll and share the results. So we've got 58% Canada, 40% USA, and 2% elsewhere, which is, you know, really good again for us to know. So we're close, but we've got, this is built for all of you. So just because you're, you know, might not be Canada or the US, again, don't go anywhere.
So actually, quick question, Jason, all the apps serve global, right?
For Bookkeep, yeah, we do US, Canada, and we just started in the UK as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Tanya, you're gonna give the agenda.
Yes, perfect. Okay, thank you. Okay, so our agenda is we've got a quick history of the point of sale systems, a history of Square bookkeeping, posting pitfalls from Square sales summary, and solving for Square bookkeeping. Yeah, so just to let you guys know, if you don't, Square started out just as like a retail weekend warrior connected to your cell phones first. So just a little fun fact on that. And look how far they've come. I mean, even I have Square in some of my stuff. So
absolutely.
Right. Yep.
Jason, this is you. You get to talk.
This is my, so yeah, so welcome everyone. And it used to be, you know, a lot of, you probably have this experience that when you took payments in credit cards, you would get a gross deposit of the gross receipts. So with the old school point of sale systems, and cash registers, of course, and a credit card terminal, you got all the money that was from tips, from sales tax, and none of the fees were taken out. And that made accounting pretty simple because you didn't have to figure out how much in fees were taken out or how much in loans were taken out. And now things have changed with Square. When Square came on the scene, they started taking their fees out of the deposits, and you could no longer match up. What did the Z report tell you you took in versus what hit the bank the next day? Those weren't matching anymore. And now all the old school guys are starting to go to the Square method and get their fees right away, which has made things a lot more complicated. So, you know, in the past, people used to do cash and checks. You know, you knew exactly how much you were going to get and what was going to hit the bank. Everything balanced, and sales tax was usually pretty simple in the past as well, where you just had one rate and you were basically, you know, mostly just retail. Even if you're doing e-commerce, often sales tax wasn't an issue. But things are changing very quickly now in the world of retail e-commerce, and Square is definitely leading the charge on this.
And you know what? I'm going to agree with that. I had a restaurant, you know, about 6 years ago, and I got the little tape, and it was so easy. It was, here's this. Okay, that's the tape. Put it in. Everything. Yep. Xerox backs it out, and it was 5 seconds. You know, boom, in, out, done.
So yeah, I mean, the internet has changed accounting, and it's not necessarily the internet has, but then all these tech startups have started to really make it, basically there's just so many ways to sell now, and businesses are just able to, in a couple clicks, be able to be on a new sales channel or accepting a new payment method. You can sell on TikTok now, apparently. I'm still not sure how that works. But you know, and CVS is now taking Venmo and PayPal, and you know, things are just really moving quickly. A lot of these payment providers really want to get into all these different sales channels, and a lot of different new pop-up sales channels are making it so easy for the business owner to be like, hey, you want to start selling on, you know, on Facebook or whatever, you know, whatever it comes up. So it gets, and basically the one thing that I've realized is when I say accounting is not recovered, the app developers who build these sales channels and payment systems, they're never thinking about the accounting or the accountants.
Oh yeah, we all know this.
Yes, exactly. I'm preaching to the choir, but you know that it's just not part of their product development, and you even see that now with Square and Shopify that now have a debit card on their balance. There's very little reporting, but it's all manual, and there's no automated reporting for that. So they really didn't completely build a product that actually has accountants in mind.
Yeah. So I'll just jump on here. The little bit of history about Square is it was started, as you know, in 2009 by Jack Dorsey. A little fun fact about Jack is he started programming like you with stocks. It was dispatch for taxis before Twitter and everything else. So, and he was solving for, I read an article on him, he was solving with the phone was actually part of the taxi issue.
Right.
That's how he was recognizing all of this. And he thought, oh yeah, it's way easier. And this becomes our biggest problem, which you've already mentioned. Square takes out all the fees before the deposits. You know, it was great for the weekend warriors and the beginners and that, especially for cash flow, because as the money came in, you knew that that net amount was going into your bank. Whereas, you know, as you said, some other payment providers, it all goes in, and then all of a sudden at the end of the month, they're taking out $600 in fees. So, you know, and I remember dealing, and it's not long ago, dealing with clients going, whoa, 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 wait a second. Like, okay, we've had this much, it's going to be approximately this much in fees, you know, at the end of the month. Let's make sure we've got a line of credit or we've got something here.
Well,
so
Just to add to that real quick, I used to avoid Square for that reason alone. And I no longer avoid them. So it's, but yeah, just that. Yeah. So, yeah.
So I'm going to, this is what has become really shocking to me. And I, in fact, was doing e-commerce and I was so frustrated because, you know, I had a few large clients, they were selling on Shopify. And then there was this, and there wasn't enough, you know, we're talking even 5 years ago, there was not programs that could pull in the inventory, matching the inventory from all the different systems together, along with the, you know, the payments and trying to get that. So I ditched it. Thinking I'm coming in real nice and easy to Square. I'm going focusing on breweries. And then very quickly, I learned that Square is not just taking payments and just that simple POS. So it is now, as you can see here, omni-channel. So if you go to the Square store, you take a look, they've got payment processing, point of sale. Their point of sale specialize in both retail and restaurants. They also have online. So when you start looking, there's all these different channels that are now feeding in together. You have different locations. So an online is a different location. And if you want to track that, you know, you get somebody who kind of wants to track that, it gets really difficult. So, you know, there's that they even have appointments software. So booking, marketing software now, they've got loyalty programs. There's time and payroll even in the US. And then they've got their financial services division, right? So they've got the Square loans and they purchased last summer, it was buy now, pay later. So that's Afterpay. So I'm assuming that's going to come into your programming at some point as well. So it's a lot, but it comes back to that original problem is it is a net deposit. So, you know, that's the tough one. So this is one of my favorite slides. And this is my silly joke here, Tanya. How do you know when a pigeon wants to buy your car?
I do know the answer to this one. He left a deposit on the windshield.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I should actually say over here on the West Coast, it's seagulls that do that anyways. So, you know, this comes down to perspective of, you know, Square's got all these great services and they've built it to help the small business owner of like, hey, we need to sell for this, right? So you've got the Square loans, they're trying to help you with cash. They're seeing all these problems. And again, like Jason said, everybody's getting into the payment space. But I mean, Square is, I think, one of the bigger threats to many large businesses. I'm just waiting for them to come up with an accounting platform and build it all in, you know, so. But as accounting professionals, our perspective is we want it easy. We want one entry, get it in, you know, and have it balanced. So, you know, our preference is automation. Our clients, they want to use all these apps. At the same time, they want, you know, it's like, oh, wait, I can sell in Walmart or I can sell here and I can sell on Shopify and I can do WooCommerce and Grubhub and bring all these different, you know, apps in. So this is that, again, that solve. So, you know, they just are, here's the base issue, you know, process the payment and track the sales, right? So that's what they're trying to solve. So I wanted to throw this in there because this is really an impactful statement. When we as accounting professionals realize how much from COVID this has impacted us. You know, 90% of the data generated in the last 2 years, like that is amazing. I can't imagine Amazon Web Services now. And I didn't even know that quintillion was a number or you know, that. So that kind of blew me away.
Well, think about it. People, you know, that we're doing things in paper, that we're doing things. COVID forced a lot of things online, right? So it's, I was surprised with it too, but when you think about it, not really surprised.
Yeah, well, And so, of course, you know, Bookkeep, you are helping with this.
Gotta say,
Yeah.
Plinko. This shot reminds me of Plinko. The Price is Right. All the things coming down, all
we
into
have
the winning funnel.
Yeah.
we do we have a different graphic for this now going, but essentially what our goal is to really try and help automate with proper accounting entries, the daily entries from all these different services, so that you can keep your balances in sync between any of these apps. So if a client, no matter what the client decides to use, you know, you can connect that to our platform, and we will keep the balance in sync with proper accounting entries into your accounting platform, whichever one you're using.
Yeah, and you've got more apps in that you connect with now, though,
We do.
right?
We have about
Yeah.
25
Wow.
apps right now, or 26, and we're adding, you know, more all the time. Hopefully, you know, we have the major ones. Really, the only thing that slows us down is when they don't have APIs, or there's no app, you know, automation. You know, Uber Eats is an example. We just can't get data from Uber Eats. They don't make it available. We can't get in any format. So we would love to have an Uber Eats connector, but they don't make the data available.
So this is a little offside here, but this is, I'm going to call it the white elephant in the room for all of us in accounting. All this data, these are the issues it's causing, integration problems. And I read an article the other day and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it, a data monster. This is it. And it's information everywhere. You know what? So like I've got a client, I mean, with breweries, we have stuff everywhere. And it's like, oh, well, I'll just send you the CSV on this. Oh no, WooCommerce, I can just send you the CSV. Oh, no. I don't want just the CSV. You know, we got the CSV, and then people send us stuff in texts and emails and stuff like that. Right. And over the past 2 years, along with COVID and all the other things, all this data is making us crazy. You know, which also everybody's coming out, as you said, with a payment or this or whatever. We're getting app fatigue. You know, we're getting tired. Like, where do we go? Oh, okay. So hold on, this sales channel you have or whatever, or this payment, we're going to use this to try and import it, or we're going to do this or that. It is exhausting. And, you know, the biggest thing is that inconsistency. You wrote an article, right, Jason, recently?
Well, yeah, I mean, sorry, I should be responding here to everyone. Yeah, essentially, it is app fatigue, but there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Unless you can get the clients to only stick to one app, it's really hard. So that's why we're really trying to be a centralized automation platform that can pull that data in and normalize it. So it doesn't matter, because I'm sure everyone here has seen, you know, you log into an Etsy and try and run a report in Etsy. It's not a proper accounting report that they generate in Etsy. It's somewhat of a mix between sales and deposits. It doesn't, you know, and then you can download the spreadsheet and get all the orders. And so what we try and do is we try and get the data from all the different systems, whatever it might be, pull it into a proper accounting format that everyone here recognizes, essentially a Z report, you know, sales against payment balances. And then when deposits hit, we do transfers from your payment balance with Stripe or Square or whatever to your bank account. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not something that you're going to get away from. It's something you kind of have to embrace, is understanding that everything is going to be digital payments. Everything is pretty much digital payments now.
Absolutely. And it's like, that's what I call it. It's not just digital. Everything's, you know, you coined the phrase, everything's e-commerce now. If you look up the definition of e-commerce, it's literally using that debit card. I mean, I have to think about it. I honestly don't carry cash with me. I have a $20 bill hidden in my wallet, and that's it. What about you, Tanya?
I think last time I looked, I've got like $15. I've got 3 5s. But yeah, that's it. I don't carry the cash. Absolutely. And then just to bring up, like with the apps and the consistency, I have just my little website, which is not a lot of stuff. There's a few things for, like for the accounting, a couple of different forms of stuff for the accounting industry, but I have Square. I have Wix set up on some things, which then uses PayPal. And I'm like, I've got like 4 things. And this is just me, a service-based business, let alone other people that offer lots more out there, or you're dealing with products. Absolutely.
Well, and this goes back again to Square. I was really surprised, but Square has a Touch Bistro integration. So Touch Bistro handles that whole point of sale, but Square is their payment
method. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, really? Okay. So here is this side does this and this side does this, and pulling these all in together. So this
and that's an important learning, is that you have to understand which ones, or you have to get clear which ones are the sales channels and which ones are the payment methods. Usually Square is your sales channel and payment method, but PayPal is usually your payment method on a Shopify sales channel or a Wix sales channel. But sometimes Square can be a payment method on Touch Bistro. It also can be a payment method on other e-commerce tools as well. So getting that clear.
Payment method though. It's not always. You get people coming in getting that free point of sale program, and they're using their banking, well, in Canada it's Moneris or Chase or whatever, they're doing that. So yeah, it's exhausting.
But the important reason to understand that which is your sales channel, which is your payment method, is you don't want to duplicate things. So that's something that comes up, and it's for another discussion. But with PayPal, if you connect that PayPal app, PayPal considers them the center of the universe. They'll put all your sales into your QuickBooks, even if those sales were coming from Shopify or Squarespace, where you want to get you want all the details from Squarespace or Shopify, because that has all the sales tax, all the detail. You just want to know it was paid with PayPal. So you have to that's one tricky thing that we actually handle that in Bookkeep, because we can help you ignore, we have a PayPal connector that ignores the sales from those other channels.
Yeah. So with Square, we're going to go back historical again. You could just do that single summary entry, or even some people would just do the deposit and back out the taxes, right? So it was really, really easy. In Canada, for the Canadians, we all know that you cannot, I'm sure people are looking at this going, no, you can't have the deposit equals the revenue. We cannot do cash-based in Canada. So we have a streamlined, consistent system, accrual accounting, because we have to. So I understand that in the US, and I don't know, maybe somebody can correct, I'm not seeing the chat, that in the US, you can do cash basis, but you have to, for tax reporting, do accrual. Is that correct, Jason?
Yeah. I mean, generally your sales tax is due on accrual basis based on the sales you did during that month period. So I've been in retail for 18, 19 years since I opened my wine store. I don't really know what cash basis is. So, I mean, we essentially are all accrual basis, but in retail, generally it's accrual basis because of your sales tax. Other industries where you might not get paid right, the same day, cash basis makes sense. But essentially in retail, e-commerce, heavy transaction value businesses, restaurants, accrual is the normal way to do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to just point out right away that all of these entries, these are from my clients. So, and they're not all from the same day. So when you look and you see, hey, this was on that screen, that number doesn't match that. That's because I'm trying to get a good set of examples. So anybody who's using Square, you can go in, take a look at the summary. You get, really quick. And I guess, can you see my mouse on the screen when I'm pointing?
Yes.
No? Oh, yes. Okay.
Yep. We can see your mouse.
Super easy. You see what your net sales are, your discounts, your returns. We can see the taxes, the tips that come out, our gift cards. So, we can get that basic entry, right? We can also look down, see cash, card, gift card, and other. Other is a big one that people need to pay attention to. So, we can get this. So you can do that quick, simple entry. Here you go. You got your sales, your GST for us in Canada. There's your tips, the gift cards. There in Canada, we have rounding. So you guys in the States will be, happy you don't have that. Then there's the fees. So, okay, cool. We put that to our clearing account. Here's our fees, no problem. That 90,000 matches this 90,000, but here, other. What is other? We got to find out what that is. So that's other payment methods. So guess what? That could be somebody sent in, as you said, Jason, a check or whatever. I found out that somebody was using other because the client wanted to only use their PayPal and to pay. And I was like, oh my goodness, this, again, so this is, we're trying to match and do all these things. So here's a little tip on the side here, pro tip. This is, I love this. You can go into Square, you can go into the report section, create a custom report. In that section, you can create one mass report. So you can have your sales summary, your payments, your taxes. Like that's the very first thing I do is I go into a file and I create this. I get my category sales, my items, and I keep it all in one report. And it says monthly accounting summary. I wish I could get this emailed to me because then, I could use Integromat, move it from here to there, right into the file, and I don't even have to. But instead of like, I used to go in, okay, I'm going to grab the sales summary, print that, then I'm going to grab the taxes. I'm going to do that. So this will save you, you got a lot of clients, 5 minutes each client. So, and now we're going to go back to that category, the sales. So that figure, so this is a different one. Client, but did you look at the category summary? So what happens here? We've got uncategorized. What is it? Here we go. Take a look here. We got event deposits. So we're starting to look at this. And again, you're going to see a lot of things that are related to beer or wine because that's the niche I work in. So when I'm doing that, that's you're going to see. So, what is this causing here? We've got liabilities. Event deposit. This is a deposit. So Square has created the system to be so simple for business owners to use. All they got to do is go in and create a category and, we can just take the money. We can do, whatever. So, go ahead.
And that's, sorry, I was just gonna say Square, and I just put it in the chat too, Square allows clients to go rogue.
Oh yeah.
That's what's happened. Clients are going, they're like, well, Square allows it. So it must be true. It must be the way that it works. But
well, because
otherwise.
it allows it, they think it's okay.
Yep.
So, here we go. Again, here's another one real quick. We've got our uncategorized. So this is not income, right? So like I said, you can go outside of accounting rules, and because it allows it, the client thinks it's okay, because at the end of the day, when they go, their report balances, everything's great. But what's happened here is we've actually overstated the sales, and even on this one, event deposits and event balance, like it's two sets of, okay, so if I had recorded that 37,000 as sales, that's not correct. And in fact, from this one, they had these deposits, and this was right before lockdown. So the lockdowns, and they had to refund and give this back. And so then they're, well, how do we go and, refund the sales and whatever? I'm like, what are you talking about? So,
well, and just especially an issue with that is one of the clients that I have that is, thank goodness, not doing this anymore. But, and this was fine by the accountant. And I'm like, no, it's not fine. Is that they were just using the net deposit in there and just saying back at the HST, just back it out. No, because your net deposit, again, that's your fees, and the fees don't always have HST on it for Canadians, and certain things. So again, you're either overstating or you're understating. But at the end of the day, what does that mean? If Sierra comes in and does an audit, they're going to spend more time looking.
Absolutely.
And also in the US, you have Square Savings and Square Loans. So clients can now set aside a certain percentage to a savings account in Square. So that's removed from the deposits. And Square Loans are also removed from your deposits. So with Square, you can never assume the deposit is income, and anyway, you should never assume the deposit is income.
And so that is, if you have one big takeaway from this, it is you must look at your category. This client here, wholesale beer sales, all of this is their payments. They are, in fact, doing invoices in QuickBooks and sending them out. And I was like, nothing's balancing. What's going on here? What's happening? This was before I got them connected. And I'm like, I am out so much money. What's happened? And as I went back in month by month, and I'm like, wait a second, you invoiced and you put it in here? We have double recorded the sales on top of now, because if people do the gift cards, those outside gift cards, or your little, coffee cards, oh, I had a coffee shop sell coffee cards for $15. So there's all these funky little things that can go wrong.
And with our integration, you can map those to a liability account if they are using a category like that.
You're jumping on me because here is my solve. This is
sorry.
how I have solved all these problems. Is Bookkeep is, I come into, so this is mapping and Bookkeep. We all map accounting software, and we all map, okay, we have to put this to here, to here, to here, to here. But here's a perfect example of this. Actually is almost 2 screens of, they've got beers, cans, wine, whatever, everything they created a category for, special, share, everything. Again, they had, what was it? Beer club, stuff like that. I'm able in Bookkeep to take this single, here in sales, here's how I map it. And it all comes out super simple. I've got it down to eight or 9 categories where it comes in. And this is so much easier. And when your clients create all these categories, it's really difficult for them to start to look in at Square and get good information. So this then comes down and I'm able to give them really good information. So I want to point out here that you can use Bookkeep even if your client does not use Square payments, because this is exactly what you want. So where that other came in, it said other payments. That would be if they're using in Canada, Moneris or something like that. So you'll end up having to balance that out, but you can still get all these Square categories.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention too that yes, Marina had mentioned earlier that yes, one of those others was actually a Moneris, and then Deb has actually mentioned, this is good to know, that Acuity, apps like Acuity, for example, don't integrate with the Square category, so they just hang out in the uncategorized sales as well too, right? So, yeah, important to mention.
Here is my other sneak peek solve is when my client, so this is, sorry, it looks a little messy and I've got all the things here because I have to, can't give all the information or client confidentiality, but every day, and I'm going to take 100% credit for this report, because when I first was working with Jason, I would get, 6 clients, I would get 6 summaries of sales and 6 summary of deposits. I would wake up and there would be Bookkeep, all these emails. And I'm like, oh, please, I can't deal with this. And what happens, we all know when you get a glut of emails from somewhere, they just go click, 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 click and gone. So Bookkeep created this. And I think this is like your ace in the hole here. It tells me every single day I get this email and it tells me I've got new subcategories to map. I've got, and this is not just this summary, partner summary is every client I have on Bookkeep, and it is not just Square. It does everything. So here you can see I've got Stripe payouts, Stripe fees. Here I had a problem. So I get this immediately every morning and I know something's gone on. And boy, it impresses my clients because they think I'm in their accounting every single day. And they think I'm looking at things every single day, and I am. I'm looking at it from this perspective. It also was super helpful to me during the pandemic here this summer when we had lockdowns or when we had, because I deal with breweries in BC, I was able to see, I'll look and I'm like, wait a second, why are their sales only 400 today? And everybody else is like $2,000 this summer. What happened? And I quickly can go and look and it's like, oh, forest fires, evacuation across the lake. So they didn't get, but I could quickly, and in Slack, hey man, what's going on? Are you good? Are you okay? I look like a rock star. So thank you.
Well, and yeah, and what the one thing, a couple of things I love about that too, just got to say this. I love that you're sending us a little virtual cup of coffee. So thank you for that, or tea for those of us who don't drink coffee. But
Right.
it's really nice to have everything in one versus let's say you let's say again, like Sherry, you're niching in this. You get 20 of them every single day, one for each client. That's really overwhelming. And then that's not going to be able to allow us to pay as much attention to things because we could accidentally miss it. So the fact that it's all on one, like again, thank you for listening for all of this, and it's great. So
and this is morphed. So the little check marks, I'm like, okay, you got all of this, and I don't see that. Can you put this here? I need a check mark just to know everything went through right, and I need a big X, so that I'm looking, going, oh wait, there's errors. So like I said, at the top of that report, it told me, here we've got our little yield, no deposits, so we've got the check mark, the X, red, green, just like a stoplight.
Yep, they should all be green.
So we've just got a few questions in here. Sorry, just one sec. Just to bring up. Oh, never mind. Sim's in answering, so that's fine. Just want to bring up too, though, that Deb says the awesome thing about Bookkeep is that even anything that comes in uncategorized, you could actually, go in QBO to split it out and then contact the clients and fix everything, and go back and do some remapping in Bookkeep so that you don't have to hopefully deal with that again.
Right. So yeah. I'm going to, again, so here we go. Here's another thing that you really need to. So now that we've looked at categories, we now need to look at gift cards. So again, you have gift cards, and there's now different types of gift cards, digital gift cards, third-party gift cards. So are you looking at these? Are they coming in? Refunds. So how much has been in, how much has been out? So you have to take a look at this, because if you only record from the summary report, it's going to be wrong. So you want to take a look at going into here, this export. So here's another thing. You can export this. It becomes a CSV. It's awesome. So, and don't forget, these don't get, like I said, mapped in there. But again, here's another little pro tip. Is you can download that report, you can sort it, and at the end of the year, you can look at, here's the issue date of the gift card, when was it last loaded or when was it last used? So in the US, my understanding is you have 5 years, but you can actually write that down diminished value. So if somebody gets a gift card, and I know I've got a bunch of gift cards pre-COVID, don't even know where they are anymore, and I know a couple of those businesses in fact are closed. So you can pull this out. So, like I said, my little tip here, but for Canadians here, you pull this out, run it, you look at how old these are. If you've had a business that's been operating 6 years and you have, here it is, let's just say it's never been used, 24, whatever, $50 gift cards that have never been used, you can create that report, give it to the accountant, they can put it to allowance for doubtful. And that really helps when it comes time for the bank. If you want to go for a loan to the bank and it shows you have this big gift card liability, they're old. They're not going to be used. So this is news for Canadians, not for the US. How long have Square loans been in the US, Jason?
Oh, it's been many years.
Yeah. So this is big for us in Canada because this is brand new. So again, I'm going to go right back to the beginning of Square. What they do is you get a net deposit. So what you see here again is here's your loan offer. And I would be really upset if some of my clients took this, but I think it works out to be about 15%. Something
depends.
like that.
It could be 25%.
Oh, wow.
But what Square does with the loans in the US is, as an example, they say we're going to loan you $25,000, and then they actually deposit $20,000. So the $5,000 they take as their fee upfront on day one, and then every other withholding from your bank deposit goes to principal. So ideally, you just book it. So what our system will do is just book that to the principal account, and you can automate the write-off of the $5,000 across 18 months, essentially.
That's what I got here. Amortize it over the 18 months that you need to take this.
Mhm.
And even if you go and pay that loan off, you still have to take it. And it's very interesting. They call it loan fees, not interest. So you still have to take that loan fee and amortize it over the time. So, you know, thankfully, I've not seen this, but immediately what I would be doing is, okay, you record that 136 less the fees. The fees, I would do a memorized transaction and put that over the 18 months. So what's really important over here is to take a look at this repayment, 16.5% repaid every day. So that 16.5 is not of the total loan. That is, they take it off of your maximum off of your deposit. So if you think that your deposit is going to be something and it suddenly is a lot less, here's why. So again, here's my sneak peek solve using Bookkeep. So this is the two sides of the deposit. So right down here, you can see the loan payment reduction. So your Bookkeep's API brings it in. And that's how much. And so that can automatically be, you can see over here, you can map this to your loan payment account. So I'm going to point out, there's a couple of little sneaky things here too. Here we've got Square Debit Card. And as you already mentioned, Jason, Square Savings.
Unfortunately, yes. And that's coming soon. We don't have access to the data from Square. They don't make it available yet automatically. So if they are using the Square Debit Card or the Square Savings, you're going to have to get that information manually until they give us access to the API. We've been just in talking to them about it. One of the things that we do to advocate for the accounting community is we do have calls with product people, let them know that, wait, you just issued a debit card and you have no bank feed, so you can't do that. I didn't say that, but basically it was like, you need to give us some access so we can help automate this, because it's going to make a lot of accountants very unhappy.
Well, and that was just one little, if you go right back to that summary entry, it's just one little thing on there, and it's so easy to look past it. But in fact, they generate, sorry, I got the screen over just so people can see this, but they actually issue, this is a statement. It's like a bank statement. Here is your starting. Here is all the payments. Here is what's been transferred in and out. If there was any kind of transfer fees, but here you can see Square debit cards. So they issue a card, and here it is, $27 for dinner and then coffee. And that came out of the balance that should have gone into your bank account. So Tanya, what does that mean?
That means change engagement, out of scope. And Diane's here and she's thinking the same thing. Diane Mueller on the call, but it's out of scope. It is out of services. Now you've got to sit there. That's another bank account that you have to watch, that you have to reconcile, that you have to transfer everything in. And that should be what you sit down to take a look at renewing what the price is. Again, that's more for you to watch. That should change your engagement, should change your price. So again, just watch that scope creep.
And so what happens with that daily summary email, boom, all of a sudden it's like you have a new category or you have something to map, and you will know then, hey, there is debit card transactions here. Hold on, debit card, you've done this. You've just added a bank account. As you said, scope creep, change of embankment, change of engagement. But if you waited to the end of the month and then you're going, okay, well, here's all the deposits, here's the sales, what doesn't, they may have been using this all month long and figuring that, oh, Square sends these great little receipts, that's good enough, and it's not. So these are those things you really have to look for. So here is the problems, customer, numerous activities, reduced to the deposit. Key data can be missed, and that key data is, as you can see, a trickle-down effect. Debit card, loans, missed categories, stuff like that. And don't forget, there's also lost data if suddenly they decide they've grown, they don't want to use Square anymore, so they want to go to something else. So Arrived is one that the breweries are now going to. Again, then we've got our financial impact, what's happened. the product margins are skewed. So if you're trying to do like I look, you know, that's wrong. Your balance sheet is misstated, the liabilities, incorrect revenue, and you can't do cash flow forecasts. One of the things I love about using Bookkeep now, instead of that once a month and all the money goes in, we can actually see these swings when I run a cash flow report. So we can see, you know, here's how the sales came in, and here is, you know, they're all going to get deposited on Monday. And so when you start to plan for that, it's great. So poll question.
And I have the right one this time. There we go. So again, remember, you must answer. We've got 5 poll questions in total. So again, we must answer 3 of the 5. This is the third one to come up, and doesn't matter what the answer is. We're just curious. So while we're waiting for this, so Sherri, you started niching in 2019 into the breweries. How has Bookkeep helped you with this?
Because I was trying to do daily entries. Now imagine each one of those daily entries, taking that category, memorizing the report in QuickBooks, going in, out, wait, it's not matching. Are my taxes working? Yes, no. It made me crazy. I mean, I look at my report, it's gone in like every single one of my clients. Now that's like 15 to half an hour. So for me, it's helped me. I've been able to grow, right? But also I am not wasting time trying to match bank feeds, the clearing account, everything like that. So where are we with the
okay, so we've got 63 that have answered it. So we'll do a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, got a couple of extra that came in, so we were at 68%. So perfect. So sharing the results now. 51%, yes, they're still entering a single entry. I used to be one of those. I can now say that no, we are starting to move over because of Bookkeep. So it's great. It's easier, and we're getting more of the detailed information to be able to help us help our clients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is what I feel are accounting highlights of using Bookkeep. So here you go. This is that posting. We get daily accrual summaries. Again, we have our loan payments. If clients, you know what, like some of them have been desperate, you know, they needed the cash flow. And the thing is, there's no credit check delays, whatever. When they get offered that loan, and if they need it, they'll hit the button, right? And because it's in their account. So we get the daily accrual summaries. You can see it, you can map it, you know, it's a beautiful thing. So here for Canadians, again, I'm going to take credit on this one. When I first started talking with Jason, I wasn't thrilled about there being a journal entry. And then I said, you need to map Canadian taxes. I said, because again, here is, you know, other apps I looked at, everything just goes to a tax clearing account. And then I have to go in and I have to pull the tax report. I have to allocate it. The nice thing about this is if I'm in my file and looking, I can see daily exactly how much PST and how much GST. So I know in the brewing industry, we have to pay monthly PST. So I know exactly when I'm looking at that, okay, here approximately is what that liability is going to be for cash flow purposes. And the amount of GST, okay, we got 3 months just in case we have to borrow from it. So for me, this is a big, big plus. And I'm hoping you're going to extend this out to, is this on the roadmap to map the taxes for Shopify as well?
Oh, it works for Shopify. It's a feature of our platform. So if we can get the sales tax detail, we can't get it from Amazon Summary or Amazon Marketplace at the moment. But if we capture the sales tax detail from the source system, it will work for Canada. Yes. Awesome.
So again, here's the other one, matching deposits. This is my favorite. Instead of having to do a bank rule and saying, hey, you know, let's just automatically make this go to the clearing account, I don't have to worry about it. Like I get in and I see these, it matches, shows right up in my bank feed, you know, as well. The clearing account, you know, so I can see how that's going. Something I want to point out is in the description I love this because it says, here's the 89 payments. It gives the detail. And if I have Square open down in the bottom, it actually shows how it's broken down. So, and I know I saw yesterday, I was quite impressed, was it yesterday or Monday? The Square clearing account actually had 2 entries on it, and it said it was this many transactions from February 5th and this many from February 6th. So I could see, so for me, that makes me really excited knowing that my account is going to balance over the end of the month, and especially at year ends, going, here is what we're missing.
We just released that feature where on the credit side, instead of grouping the entire batch, so assuming if the batch goes over a couple days, which can happen sometimes, by the way, this can happen if Square goes offline. You will see this. We've seen it with clients where, why are they getting deposits in July that were from June sales? Well, it's because Square went offline and didn't get back online till later. But so then you'll see on the credit side exactly what the grossed up amount is for each day of sales so that you can easily match it to the sales day.
Well, that also happens when you get those, weekend warrior market guys who use it when it's not connected and they forget to post. I had somebody call me last summer, said, oh, I know somebody said that you know all about Square, one of the other guys at the market and whatever, and our money isn't going in and we can't figure out why. And I'm like, first of all, you should call Square. And I just said, oh, you're at the market. Did you reconnect? Because Square will allow you to take payments in offline mode. So again, that's what you're saying, you're July. So again, this will give me that, I'll start to look at my accounts. Why is that happening? My partner's summaries, I absolutely love because you make me look so smart to my clients that I'm thinking that I'm in their business every day. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite, and there's Tanya's little cup of coffee. So you can fix things immediately. And I want to say, here it is, back to that white elephant. This is what I feel that, and again, this is my personal, Bookkeep solves my integration issues. So I am getting all these apps coming in. So instead of me having to, have I checked this and go look at my workflows, check, 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 check. Has Shopify gone in? As WooCommerce said, we posted Stripe, has this. Instead, it says reconcile. I've missed a whole step, which is great. My data monsters are kind of like the dust bunnies getting pushed to the corner. They're a lot less, and I hope they don't grow. But I want to say app fatigue. You said we can't get away from it. Well, you've solved me looking for 4 or 5 integrators. So that one is a huge one for me. And especially during COVID, when we've had to learn so many different things, but this comes down to that, the app fatigue, the data, and how much data is happening now, in the past 2 years.
Yeah, so, and I think it's going to get even crazier.
Yeah, so Tanya, this is you, girl.
Yes. So Bookkeep, look at all these things that it checks. I can tell I've been in the chat. Lots of excited people. Anna, I'm so happy that you were allowed to get excited and that you're so excited. But yeah, capture the curl entries from 20 plus or 25 plus, I think now that we've heard, payment platforms like Square, Shopify, Grubhub, PayPal, Stripe, Amazon Seller, and many more. Single interface with common settings screens so that all of your clients look the same. Logging and bulk action so that you can see what was posted and what's correct. No duplicates with a full audit trail. And it stays on top of your app ecosystem so that you don't have to. Oh, we've got some more people excited about it. That's awesome.
I want to know, actually, Jason, can you speak to the audit trail? Because I know I've asked you on it a number of times.
Well, Jason, Jason, while you're doing that, I'm going to launch, we actually kind of have 2 polls back to back. I'm going to launch the most important one while you're talking. So.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just, we understand that a lot of people have been gun shy because of some other apps out there that just throw Square's original app just throws transactions into QuickBooks, messes up QuickBooks, potentially duplicates, of course, and that just makes your life miserable. So we built the system so you can do bulk postings. You can run history going back, a year or 2 years, as far back as you have data. But once we post an entry, we will always update that entry. So if you posted a whole year of history, and you're like, oh wait, I got to go change the mappings for some of these categories, you actually can then resync those. It'll update the existing entries that we posted so that you don't have to worry about duplication, and you'll see it in the audit trail that we did the updates. We're very careful about that.
Just last week.
Yeah, we're very careful about that because you know, it's a messy problem to clean up, but if you get duplicates, so we really try very hard not to do that. Our system blocks duplication, yeah, so it's really designed to help you do bulk entries, bulk adjustments without duplication.
I had a client, so I did just do that last week, and we've gone all the way back to August 1st, 2021 with Shopify, because what they were doing is just posting one entry Shopify sales. And I'm like, well, but what is this? Is this beer? Is this merchandise? What is it? Because again, this was when we had closures, right? So is this beer? Is this merchandise? I mean, so many businesses have gone online and delivery and everything like that. So I was able to go in, use a deleter app, pull out all their previous ones, go into Bookkeep, hook up Shopify, download. And I mean, it just made me so excited because they were using Shopify with Square, or I should say not Square, with Stripe, and everything's like, and I'm like, I got this matched, and like seeing that match screen in my bank makes me so excited. Okay, so Tanya, your polls.
Yeah, so we've got the polls. So the first poll was, does anybody want to hear from Bookkeep? You've got a lot of people on here that are already using Bookkeep, but a lot, excuse me, a lot that absolutely do want to get in touch, or we want you to get in touch. So that's great. And we see that there's actually a few appointments already set. So right now, this is the second poll, is did you learn anything new? Because that is what I want, is for some people, and Sherri as well too, is for somebody to walk away with new information from every single time. So that way, if they're on multiple webinars with the same topic, you can keep coming back because you're going to walk away with something new. And, you know, maybe that'll get you to use, you know, Bookkeep more. Maybe you didn't realize it could be used in this way, you know, or for more clients or whatnot. So I'm sharing that. So out of everybody that answered, which is more 75% answered, 100% walked away learning something new today. So
good.
That's awesome. So we did go a couple of minutes over. There's a lot of information. I thank everybody who's still on the line. I still think almost everybody's here. So I thank you for that. And was there any last minute things? I know we've been answering questions as we've gone through.
Cool. Good.
Yep. So that's awesome. So thank you.
And you did record this, right, Tanya?
It is recording. Yes,
okay.
the whole thing is recorded. So you will get the recording. I will make sure that all the contact information is there just in case you are now watching the recording because, you know, a client called or you got sidetracked with something. Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for coming, spending some time with us today and learning about this. And
thanks, everyone.
Yeah, that's great. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Hey. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Tanya and Sherri-Lee.
Okay, thanks.